Oh, hello there. Oh, gosh. All blurry. Let's fix that right quick first thing. It's gonna fall over. Okay, cool, cool. Love that. Perfect. Okay, get that. Get that. There we go. Being weird today, camera. Come on. There we go. Alright. Let's get that. Let's do that. Get everything fired up here. Alright. That back there. Alright, so. We were struggle busing through. So we're not allowed circular imports and tests either. So what we need to do, we left ourselves this note. We need to listen to the message bus, pull the message out of there, make sure it looks like we expect it to. That's what we're really testing here anyway, so groovy. Let me make sure that I started my database. It's going to be important for testing. And we did. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. So, we create our message broker. Create our message broker here. We give it to the map. That we're going to need a helper for this because we're going to need to see two messages out of here. We need to see the notification event, and we also need to see the place character point send our update to the character. And from there, as long as the character is set up correctly to handle those, which other tests are covering, for room changing, we should be good to go. We're probably going to want to add a test to replace character. Just to make sure that that behavior gets handled correctly going forward. Right now, it's okay. I'm 99.9% sure. But let's go ahead and just throw ourselves a note in here. It'll go on the character manager. And we'll do it after this, I think. Because this handles enter and exit. We want to say... Let's just do a to-do. We won't even rough it in. Add a test. I should also... Hang on one sec. Before we get too far here. I just want to make sure that's all Gucci. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So add a test to make sure that place character at point is handled correctly. Okay. We just want to know for sure that everybody is happy. So over here, it's hot today. We'll check this here. Ugh. Should have opened more windows. Might do that in a minute. We'll push through. Yeah, rest of this month is going to be hot. Unfortunate. I'm sweating my butt off in here. Okay, so. We need a helper. And we're going to want this to take... How do I want to do this? We can do a non-blocking with a timeout. And then, just an await count. We're going to return a list of, message broker messages. Or we could pull the data out of them, in which case it'd be a list of interfaces. Could do that. Let's do that, because then we can type assert them only one time instead of pulling them out, type asserting, all that. We don't really care about the message type here. So we do a for, we say, start time is now. We're going to switch on. I guess this also needs a oh, what the heck do we give back? We subscriber channel. That's what we do. So that. And we also need to do that. So here we say, this is actually empty switch. This is a case. And then it's not switch, it's select. So if we get something on this channel, we also need do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you giving me one extra? I'm missing one somewhere. I don't think so. I'm missing one here. That's why. So if I get a message, we do I forgot to do that. We increment the message count. There we go. We say if message count is equal to await count, return the results. So sleep for a millisecond otherwise. Up here we say this do that, or do we want to do an error? I could do I like that, I think. Okay. And then up here, so here's what we got to do. We need it to happen before we do this. We'll create our wait group. We'll add one. We'll shoot out a go routine. Defer that. And we do and then we'll do similar to what we've done before. That, and we'll say we need to subscribe. We created our deal, but we need to subscribe to the broadcast. So we'll do you here. That's probably fine. Kind of in our setup for this. We'll call you that. This should be test broker subscribe. Our name is recovery, and the subscription channel, right? Topic, yes. That's what I meant. Broadcast topic. So we subscribe to, and we'll defer It doesn't really matter, but we'll just be nice about it and defer the unsubscribe to that. It would remove the subscription anyway as soon as it tried to send to us, but we'll just be diligent. Okay, now we give you that. It's channel, it's timeout, let's say it'll be 1,000,000 years for this purposes. And a weight count is going to be 2. I think that's all we need. Yes. Okay. So then we fire off the move and we do wait. This should allow that to continue to pull out at least 2 or the 2, and then it should exit. We should get deferred done. We should proceed past here. Meow. We need to error check. Oops. If this is not nil, we have a fatal error for the test. And we'll say error getting test messages out of message broker. Not that, but this, like so. Okay, now. We need to do 2 things. Yeah, well, a couple of things. If the length of result isn't 2, we'll do an error. We'll say result list length not as expected. Wanted to got something, which is len of result. And then to say if len result less than there's not really anything we can do here, because either it's 2 or because we limit how many things we pull out of there, right? So it's either 2 or it's going to be nothing, or 1, I guess it could be. But in the case of 1, we don't know what to check. So here we'll just do fatal. And then here we can say, okay, our first result should be the notification that we are lost. Let's go double check our map. So this will be the map's default lost message, which we can't import. We'd have to move that, but right now we don't want to, so we'll just copy the string. And then why are you not doing what I want you to? Okay, here we go. So what we need to do is say if it's going to be a notification event though. So that's an event. We can type assert this too. A game events.event. If there's an error, we'll say bad event type for result for first result message. Got whatever this was, expected whatever this is, which will be, so the got is result 0, expected is just an empty event for the type. Otherwise, if we did get the event we hope for, we need to look in here. It's a notify event. We say or do we say do we let reflect handle this and we just say this, and we do it's an event, this is notify character, execution type is async, data is notify character notify, fill the fields, it is private, topic ID should be the test character ID, occupant IDs should be nobody, like so, data should be pop. And then we can say, hopefully, unless I'm forgetting something, that, then we could say bad result. We got something. And let's actually break this up more because it's going to be kind of a big struct. Wanted like that. We got event. We expected that. We wanted that. This is crap. That's done. This is crap. So let's run this and make sure we're on the right track so far. Because now we have at least one thing we can test. We're missing something. We got a pointer we need to expect a pointer. That's right. I don't remember why we did that. I think there was a good reason, though. Address of and pointer 2. Okay. Execution type 2. But we got type 1. It's because event type new event type character notify, we made you execution type Ah, we don't have character notify in here. That's why we didn't map this yet. Except for its notify character. You are async. I think we want async here. I'm not sure if I'm missing something where that will bite me. Think what uses notify so far? Look actions, which are synchronous when they're triggered. Walk around, find out exactly. Exactly. I'm just thinking though. Look actions when they're triggered, but not the async event that comes back. That's fine. Things that are happening in the room. I'm pretty sure we're good with async. Let's run this again real quick. Perfect. Okay, let's go back and finish this up. The second event that we pull out of here. Should be the room placement event that updates the character. And actually we can just say, we don't need to say that. How you doing today anyway, Beanick? Okay. This is... I just started our project and go. Awesome, what you making? Result 1. Also should be a game event. But... place character at point. Enter tile. I did that wrong. You stay here. Too many things open. It's a notify event still, but inside of it we put room data? Room change info, yes. Okay. So we can do the same pattern here. And we can just copy this block and tidy it up. It's just like a Linux background monitoring daemon that'll monitor CPU temps and stuff. Obviously, it's nothing new or novel, but I'm just linking it up with like Prometheus or Grafana and all these useful tools. Gotcha. I mean, it doesn't have to be new or novel, right? If it's educational, that's awesome. Build it anyway. But also, like, if it's something that you think somebody would want to use that is in some way better than something else, even if it's not new, or, you know, you have your own take on it, still awesome, right? Still a great reason to build. Okay, so we give our same error message just for the second one. Which actually... kind of argues, hey... Hey, thanks for the sub. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was just saying, like, even if it does exist already, if it's something that you think you can do in a different way that somebody else might like, still a great reason to build. And even if you don't think that, like, just build stuff. You can just do that. if we did, yeah, for sure, it's definitely informative for me. Yeah, and that's the best reason to build, right? Just education. That's a large part of why I wanted to do this, like, because it's kind of a fun project, but it's also, it's really been educational as to, you know, now when you go back and look at, when I go back and look at things like how Godot works, like, I see some of the same problems that I've encountered. I'm like, oh, that's why they're doing this. So it's really cool. What if instead of an interface here, we made it even easier? Because there's a 99% chance that we just want to return the game event. And these are little pointers in here. So we could actually do this in here. And skip. Not there, but right here. And I can grab my own line here as well. This one, so I don't have to type it again up here. So if our event is good, oh no, I put you in the wrong spot. Because we need our timeout up here. We do need that still to stay there. Down here. But this won't be result. It'll be message. Hey yourself there, Starlet. How's it going? Not implement. We do need to look at the data, like so. This we can do, and we can say event type for message, bad data type for message. Let's do that. This needs to be nil, and that's event. Nope, sorry, I lied. That's message data. Going well, thanks, awesome. Good. Glad to hear it. This all goes in. Oop. There. But results needs to be that, and we need to put in event there. We're cooking with gas. That. It's a much lower level project than I'm used to, at least, coming from big enterprise code bases in Java or other projects in Python. Go is super new to me, but it's such a nice language to work with so far. Yes, I'm a big fan of Go. I really enjoy the standard library. I've done a lot of Python. I did a lot of Python 2 jobs ago, and I used to like Python, and then Go spoiled me rotten. I watched your stream before a while ago, but it's my first time chatting here. Well, welcome to chat. Clearly you must have liked what you saw if you came back for more of it. I appreciate that. Okay, this needs to be an event. ML engineer, it's cool to see other people do coding as Python, PyTorch mostly. Gotcha. And then I don't need to do this anymore. Cleans all that up. Big fan of all that. Don't need that at all. This needs to be result 0 instead. Like so. And then we can say expected placement event, game events dot event, fill the fields. You're still a notify character. No, I lied. You're a character. Enter. This is a synchronous action, though, which is actually... Yeah, because we put it... Okay, yeah. We can put it into the message broker, so it gets queued up, so that's correct. Data is... room data, fill the fields, location. So if it thinks we're at 0, 0, best way to eliminate bugs is delete the whole code base. Problem solved. I mean, you're not wrong. Moral of the story, never trust LLMs. I mean, yes, that is correct. Unless it told you to delete the code base to fix all the bugs, because then it's onto something. It's like, you know, people talk security and like, sure, you want a really secure computer? Write whatever to it, seal it in some concrete, put it in a safe, and drop it in the Marianas Trench. It's a very secure computer. It's just not very useful anymore. Okay, so... this needs to be where we think we are. CCP got subs in that trench. So yeah, I guess these days it might not even be the most secure place to put things. Yeah. I think that's where they used to drop a bunch of stuff. I heard a story from a guy that I went to college with. He was in the Navy, and he said that they dug up like underneath a floor in a building they demolitioned or something. They dug up like one of the old drives, and they didn't have a way to read it, so they had to destroy it. And he said that they ended up dropping it in the ocean. That's what happened after they destroyed it, just because they didn't know what possibly could have been on there, and the regulation said they could take no risks with it, so they did a bunch of stuff to it and then dumped it to go be a coral reef or something. I don't know. Hopefully there was nothing toxic in it. Wonder who made that regulation now? I mean, who knows? If you find hard drives, dump in ocean. Regulations, right? I'll leave you to get back banging out code, hat building. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you swinging through. You're awesome, too. Enjoy your project. All right. So this should put us back to... Hey, appreciate the follow. Zero, 0 should be our last... Wait, no. We put ourselves somewhere, didn't we? Yeah, we put ourselves at 0, 0. So that's where it should put us back to. That is correct. This should be intermessage, but because we're back here at this character at point, we just create, okay, yes, we take the spawn message, which is going to be this. And I would like to not magic string this, but we'd have to move them to do that. So for now, we'll leave them. Short description. This is move still. Character enter tile. This should still be the test tiles description. So this should be tile. I thought I had tile at. Get tile by ID. Grid at. I do have grid at. And then this is the 00 dot description. Long shouldn't be in there. This should be, and we'll do the same grid at get ordered exits for our test character ID. There. Believe that's all we need for that. And then we say db equal index 1 expected placement event. And then we say same deal. Add result. Got that. It will keep breaking this up. We got, gosh, my ability to type is gone. Expected placement event. I had another project a friend proposed to me, quite a bit of data throughput, few hundred gigs, prototyping in Python for dev speed, but considering Go for proper implementation. Gotcha. Go obviously better for concurrency, but Python might give me a wider base to work with. Not sure. What do you mean by wider base? That's an interesting question, right? This should be above the check. We should actually put these above their expected structs. That'll be a better visual organization. Like so. Let's give that a test, literally. Okay, we got something a little bit wrong here. Execution type is wrong, okay. We got type 2, but we wanted type 1. Our data is also incorrect. Right, we wrapped it. I guess I'm more experienced with it. Okay, yeah. And at least with my skill compared between both languages is right now, I could probably accomplish more in Python. Doesn't mean those things can't be done in Go. Yeah, I see what you mean. It also kind of depends on like what your real goal is, right? Do you want to continue to learn more Go? Or do you want to make the project, or kind of both, right? Like, it sort of depends. I vote go, but I'm biased. And if you're the only dev, or there's only two of you, that has a bearing on it too, right? Right, character move. Move event synchronous. We got execution type 2, which is async. Why did that happen? Oh, because we created a character notify event. Character enter. Character enter is async. Okay. Because this isn't the actual move. This is the notification of the move. Makes sense, because that is what we're doing. We did the placement already. Up here. Grid at character enter tile. We didn't do the placement up here. We do the placement here. Because the character move is the thing that triggers the move. It's not. It's not the notification. Makes sense. Hard to keep them straight, which I don't love, but we'll look at trying to fix that up in a little bit. There will be a few discrete layers that are bridged by ubiquitous technologies like Kafka or the database. Gotcha. So I could do different services in either, like the ingest service that processes this high volume of data may be better in Go, but a service that doesn't need Go strength, maybe I can do in Python. Interesting to think about. Yes, it is. It almost sounds like you're going microservice-y, though. And there's pros and cons with that, too, right? But, you also have to think about how are you going to do the Python hosty bits, right? What are you doing, like Fast API or something like that? That kind of comes with Fast API-isms, which may not be a bad thing if you're experienced in that. I personally didn't like it so much, but that was just me. And then you have to, you know, context switch to maintain it too, so. Pros, cons. Okay, so this should be async as well, because it's the notification that we're listening to. I'm writing an x86 assembly. I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon? My lighting sucks today. Let's fix that a little bit. There we go. I wish, right? I wish I was that good. Yeah, you know, I feel like the call to dive down the assembly rabbit hole just for education purposes and stuff, but like, I don't need another project. And like the utility of it is a little bit questionable these days. Compilers are really good now. Yes. Okay. We still need to fix our wrapping because we didn't wrap this test event correctly. Because I forgot. Data is actually a game events event. No, wait. This is a event. What did I miss? it's a character notify event. I always feel like that. It's got to be interesting, but it's such an unjustifiable use of my time. Yeah, exactly. I have the same problem with, like, crunchy old text editors, right? Where, like, I feel the call to learn more Vim stuff, but I don't want to spend the time to get it set up to be an IDE, right? Vim is going to make me a 10x, right? And it's not even that. Like, I don't think it's going to make me faster. I feel the old school cool appeal of it, and the simplicity is attractive to me. And it's satisfying to use Vim just for, like, editing config files. So figuring out how much more satisfying it might be to write code in it is appealing. The barrier to entry is just too high. So I'm going to wait until they push me out of IDEs by shoving more crap in there that I eventually can't take anymore. But that's my fallback plan, is I'll just become a Vim-ite. This should be a character notify is what it should be. Private should be false in this case, yes. The data for it is our room data that we just built. Ugh, what a mess. Let's fix this first. JetBrains IDEs are just good enough already. Yeah, you know, I'm really happy with them. They give me most of what I want out of the box, which I like. I don't really like to spend endless hours trying to configure my things the way I want them. If they're good enough out of the box and I can learn them fairly easily, I'm usually pretty happy. I tweak a couple little things here and there, but not a ton. Topic ID is our test character ID. Occupants, we didn't build any for this. Or did we? No, we didn't. Okay. So that's fine. I think that gets us where we want to be. No, I'm missing something else. Private false topic occupant. Oh, right. I am an occupant of the room. As soon as I become placed there. That. There we go. Okay. Now, let's do a quick commit for that. Oh, what else did I change in this? I added that was missing. That's fine. Tile. What did I change in tile? Okay, reordered that. That's fine. In map, we did. Those came over and we reordered. Okay, that's fine. You know, one annoying thing with my Linux monitoring project, neither WSL2 or any VMs support even mocked thermal sensors. Oh, I didn't know that. So I just had the laptop dual booted into an Alpine Linux install for testing. Interesting. I didn't think of that. I wonder if do Pis have a thermal sensor? Maybe you could set up just a little test server on a Pi if you have one. That way it can just always be running. I guess I've never tried to monitor thermals on a server. You'd probably have to do that through the hypervisor, huh? The other option I'd probably end up doing that? Yeah. That would make a ton of sense. Kind of sucks for development work, right? But at least you could test on it. I guess you could try the remote development stuff. I don't know how well it works. I've never had a use case where I needed it. Okay. So yeah, that's all. I'm happy with that. Wait. Character manager test. What do we change in the character manager test? Yeah, to do. Okay. Add test for lost character recovery. And the other thing we need to test and to handle correctly before we get off into this land is when we move. So this fixes up an exit or an error leaving the tile. So we dispatch, we find you, we go figure out where the heck you're supposed to be and put you there. Which will be kind of slow, but theoretically this won't happen ever. You know, this is like just trying to make sure we don't lose a character somewhere. Character enter tile. We also need to do stuff for. Oh dear. Little bots. To the report land with you. And then to ban lands. Move you straight to dev null. Theoretically, this won't happen ever. Found the failing test case, right? But that's why we're handling that case. Because otherwise, you're completely hosed if for some reason you fall out of sync and you try to move and the map is like, you're not there, my dude. Every so often when I'm cruising the software dev category, looking for something to watch in the background, I'll hear somebody in this category say, well, that should never happen. And then I usually pop into chat and I tell them to write a comment for themselves. Okay. So it's like the tales of the mystery function, you know, in code bases where the comment says, this works and we don't know why. If you try to fix it and it's broken, increment this counter and then feel shame or whatever, right? And then the number on there is like 7. It's one thing I do like about Go, like it does kind of force you to handle everything by design. Yes. Yes. And it makes you, even if it doesn't make you like handle it directly, it makes you think about how do I handle a failing case here? Or like, should I be handling a failing case here, right? What should the correct behavior be in my system? I'm a really big fan of returning errors as a value. I really, really enjoy it. Yeah, that's fine. So we need to, if we have an error here, we need to put you back where you came from, essentially. So a lot of this is going to actually look the same. This guy likes if area not equal to nil. I mean, so it's less that I like it. Like, I do see it, right? Initially, it felt worse when I saw it. I was just like, it feels wrong that there's this thing, this pattern so many times, but I kind of got over that. It's more that I like being made to think about it. I like the side effects that it gives, right? And it kind of, after you read enough Go, your brain just kind of sees that block, understands it instantly, and it becomes a non-issue. I was also going to look at this really quick while we're here. Can we tidy this up any? So we go through, we find you, and we try to recover. If there's an error here, then like everything is hosed. We return that. This, in this case, we have recovered. We do raise it just so that we can log. And then in this case, it's not on the current map. The other thing we could do, we could condense this a little bit. And we could say, we could call you map loop, let's just say. We could say, 0, 0. Do we want to do that, or what we do want to do? We want to do. We're going to want these to live in a probably a config file somewhere, but for now, we'll just put you up here with your buddies, the constants. And we can say that this gets set at the start to recovery coordinates. Oops, that's the page down button. There we go. So we get the map loop. And then we come down here. We put you all here instead, but instead of this location, recovery coordinates, right? Up here, if we find you, oops, I did the wrong one. This is target coordinates. Then we can say, this, because right now coordinates suck and I need to fix them. We'll do it this way because it's more reading, or more easy to read. And I called you Kurds. Config files are show 2024 in the year of vibe coding we store environmental variables and runtime variables. Doesn't matter if your API key is hard-coded. Fix coordinates later. Yes, I will, because they've become unwieldy. So it's time to fix them. I was hoping they wouldn't be, but kind of just sucks. So we'll fix them. Config files I like. I like config files, but especially in this case, because the editor is very, very heavily involved in editing config files. So right now it doesn't know about like these default settings. We still want to pull them out. But the idea is I'm aiming for that you can do a lot of customization and a lot of configuration without knowing anything more programmer-y than JSON is my hope. And if we find you, then we can break map loop so that you come out of here and do that. Makes sense? Yeah. And I just got to figure out how I want to lay them out and do all of that. I mean, it might go into the editor in like a entire server config or pages for the different things. I'm not sure. That's why they're all just constants and global vars right now. That way I don't got to worry about trying to pull all that crap out yet. I'm sure Future Me will be a little bit irritated, but he'll get over it. So that tidies this up a ton. Now we need to do mostly the same thing. And I guess here we could also do we can do an info log here, and we can say character ID of location found recovering to there. Or I could do a character ID last location found recovering to last location. How about that? I like that even better. Last known location. Perfect. Love that. Otherwise, recover, we send that. Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. YouTube chat is just like throwing hearts up in the air. Appreciate you, whoever did that. my visibility into what exactly is going on YouTube wise, reactions and subs and all that, not great. I wish they would do something better with that. Anywho, okay, so over here, if we did I guess we don't really need to find you. And again, this isn't something that should happen. We do still return it. An error, rather. But we might be able to just, at the start of this, current location gets set. We can just grab that. So if there's an error, this can be, we should make this a little better too. It's not just error moving character. It should be error removing character. Oh wait, no, that's the error. So it should be for the character ID. We'll log that from current tile. The error was this thing. Car ID goes in there. And then here we do error moving character to new tile. That's the error. Recovering. I need to do this both places because it's the return error. Yeah, I guess it's okay. It's just kind of gross. I'll do this until I think of something better. And then this is car ID. We do the same thing here. So that we can trace the errors through the system better from the logs if we are in that position. So that, okay, perfect. This, however, becomes non-capitalized current location. This is the current tile. So we'll use that. We'll do that so it's easier to read in the future. I don't confuse myself. Okay. So. Ooh, we also need to check here. Okay. No, we've already checked that this should be a valid move up here. So yeah, we're good there. How are we going to test making this error happen? What could possibly... You can't error right now. It's impossible for you to. Why did I put an error in you? What was I thinking that you could error? Maybe it's from the old. Maybe it's a leftover from the old system. Before we tightened everything up. Crap. I should have looked at that first. I'm happy with those changes at least. We can just get rid of that. Hey, how's it going, Ebenezer? I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry. As an American, I am equipped to pronounce such exotic names as Greg and Jeff and Bill. And on a good day, I might even be able to spell them. All right, if you can't error right now, we won't handle an error. Left over from the old system, remnants from before we refactored this part of the code base, coming back to haunt us. Yes. You probably get this question, but what is MUD? I do indeed. MUD is multi-user dungeon. Think about, like, if you could play Zork online with your friends. From back in the day when computers were still kind of bad and the internet was new and still pretty bad. Okay, so we fixed that by accident. We refactored some other things along the way, which is good. I should have looked at that function first, but, you know. When the internet was pretty bad, so like now, no. It was pretty bad in the sense of being slow, and just kind of primitive and crude. Now it's bad because there's only like 4 fucking websites. Internet. Okay. So the good news is we did this before we did the test for it. And we didn't waste as much time as we could have. So we removed and tidied up the move logic. Double check, only those were changed. Perfect. Improve readability of error handling for lost character and logging. Remove impossible error from place from character enter tile function. We'll push that up. How big is the code base? You mean like size on disk or lines? My favorite 4 websites: Bing, Amazon, ChatGPT, and email. No, it's Twitter, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. Okay. Lines, no idea whatsoever. It's not a metric that I find a ton of value in, so I don't even have a clue. I can tell you that with some extraneous stuff in the folder, it's 1.6 megabytes on disk. But that includes some Draw.io stuff and the IDE config file. I don't know how big those are. Okay. We were going to do something, and it was in character manager and its test, I think. Yes, test to make sure place character point is handled correctly. Let's do that. Let's tidy some of this up really quick. I've got too much crap open, and it's driving me a little bit insane. That we might need. That's fine. That's character manager over here. That's probably done. That's probably done for now. Move to Twitch. Gotcha. No worries. I'm on both because some people prefer one over the other. Some people prefer both. It's all good. Appreciate the follow too. Let's tidy this up while we're here, just for next time. And we'll wish once again that JetBrains had a shortcut to collapse only the root level. One day. One day. Oh, that's already. Okay. So, when we place a character at a point, I use Android Studios and that pisses me off. Yes, all of their IDs have the same problem. You can collapse recursively, but not just the top level. And I hate collapsing recursively because then I got to go expand everything in a function, or expand recursively, which doesn't fix anything at all. Absolutely the biggest pet peeve with their product. But if that's all I have to complain about, it's probably, first world problems. Okay. So when we place a character, we just need to more or less do the same thing we've done with character enter. As character enter accepts Like so. We create you, we unstow you. When we create you, you get put into a place. I don't think that we need to worry about a stationary and a moving character. I think we just need a test character for this one. You are... like so. We'll get that. Get that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. This will just be car output and car you are test car. Car output. Car Okay, perfect. Test room data. I don't need that. I need this to be just the car error. Same here. We won't need that anymore. We won't need this anymore. We won't need oh, that's an interesting question. Let me think here. We don't actually have a map for you. But if it's just a character enter that gets fired, I'm getting confused between the notify event and the event that actually triggers stuff. It's hard to keep them straight, which I don't love. But without having some kind of a two-directional message bus, which I'm really trying to avoid, just because it'll get messy. Maybe I don't need this. Maybe I'm good already. I think I am good already. I think I can just get rid of that. Because it looks identical to any other Rementor. And because we've reused that for ourselves, I think we're squared away. Which is great, because that means I got to do less testing. I'm happy with that. I've already done it. Less chores. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the backlog here. We've just tackled that. Yeah. We need to do a pretty aggressive check for to-dos here, though. Skill check setting for map. Okay, that's still a thing. Add testing for character management handler. That's done. So we just finished. Yeah, to-do scattered all over. Skill check stuff for looking at exits. In a lot of ways, we get this for free. This is for... So this becomes a game design decision as to how we want to interact with that. Right now, we're set up to do... when we enter a room, we get the short description and like the short glance version, and then if we do look at with no target, it does the room, which gives us the long description. Got to think about what do we want to do for looking for hidden stuff, and that is where this needs to be, so that we can uncover hidden ones. Game design decision. So I need to do a little bit of research there and some thinking and planning. We're gonna kick that down that can down the road just a little bit. We're just gonna put a bow on this first. Races and equipment still in to-do land. Starting location, yeah. Default stuff, yeah. Skills and attributes we need to handle. Characters that don't have the new skills or still have old one. Yeah, okay, that's still to do. We don't do any state just yet. Should also write the current character state. Yes, okay, that's still in that. Yeah, we still need to fix that. Same deal there. Okay, perfect. Does a non-private notify event look like? Okay, that's an interesting question. In this case, it's a string as well. This is going to relate to how we handle notify other action. Right now, we just notify directly. We don't use the character thing. And it probably won't be a string later. Character look does that. I don't know if anything's actually using this. Guess we could find out. Tests are using it. Well, character notify. Notify character. We do you for the lost message. Okay, yeah. Which is private. Because we're just telling the character. There's nobody that should be observing that. Also here, we notify you when you do a look. But again, that's private. But it has a room update in it. Wait a second. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Room data there. And it's because we're kind of still up in the air about how we want to handle this case where stuff comes in. Like things happen in the room, right? I don't think there is any use case right now where this is not private. We'll leave this check in here just to be sure. But let's update this. Right now, there is no use case that I am aware of for a for a public notify event that is a string. This is left. Because if we change that in the future, don't want accidentally break stuff. All right. Nothing there. Let's go back through. Yes, that can still stay. Go. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. That's all of them in this file. Okay, fantastic. All of that is stuff that we can still kick down the road until we get around to it and or decide what to do about it. This is correct still. We're just kind of putting it off until we have something that we can develop against, essentially. Stateful look action. Return data here is appropriate. State handles skill check. Okay, so we should tie into this. We should take care of this next. That should be our next task for this particular change. But I am freaking melting in here, so I'm going to take a break for just 1 second and open some windows and get some airflow, because it's hot as heck still. I'll be right back. There we go. All right. Much better. What's going on here? Ah, okay, cool. Twitch fell over again. I gotta fix that. I talked to Restream earlier today while I had a second. They said I should check server, but I'm a little doubtful that that's going to be a thing that would have any impact on this. I might have to bug Twitch, but they're probably going to tell me to not use Restream before they'll help me. Okay. Alright, so we need to do a stateful look action. In character, let's condense this down a little bit. Let's actually real quick finish. Let's do this real quick. Yep, that's still. Yep, that's still. Yep, that's still. Add this to state. That's what next. Being in combat, a room we can log out in. Okay, yeah, we don't have that just yet, but it's on the to-do list. That's on the to-do list still. Yes. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so for this part, for this file, we're done with that all for now. Character and character manager. Let's take a look at state. So in order to correctly do a stateful look, we basically just need to add you to the live state. We can do that really quick. Should check that in everything really quick while we're here. That one's good. It's good. State has a look. Okay, so our event type and data. So for alive, that's our base state. Which is the only state we have. Oh no, I lied. We have dead. Dead exists. There is no next state for I guess there could be. There isn't one currently. We just need, so if you're dead, we don't do apply damage, turn result, and the new dead state. Return result in nil. Otherwise, handle event, next state. We exit the live state, we enter the dead state. So that all is wired up correctly. So we just need to handle this in both cases. So, for alive, and I guess we should scaffold in that can go at the end. But this, if it's a look, we need to set this to true. Error is nil, which it already is. We don't need to reset that. This is we'll just do that for now. And then this is the first and last name. We'll just say, and then we return it just like so. I believe this is under the default then in this case, right? Yes. Otherwise, it's handled as false, the error is nil, result is nil. And we shouldn't need to set that. Shouldn't need to set that here either. Okay, so we need to handle it over here as well, because if we're alive, do need to be alive, or do need to be able to have an output. So it's late for me, like 4 a.m., so I'm out, but have a good night. Hey, you too. Thanks for hanging out. I'll be out soon too myself. We'll catch you tomorrow maybe. And then this would be the current look text. We'll just reuse that. We can actually just copy this whole thing. And then we return the result. This then becomes handle event C, and then we do need an event look. No. Wrong event. I want this to be state event, let's say. Don't mess with my strings, just fix that up. This becomes a state event. Look, data is the originating character. So this needs that. Right. We can't do that. We need to do... We need to do that. And then... if it's not nil, and... if it's a string... How do we use this thing? We do... What are you mad about? Oh, because this is inside the event. Dupe. This sort of argues for... Just thinking about, like, look has a source and a target, right? And it feels weird to call look on the target without knowing that our current state is alive as well. Without running through the state machine as well. But how do we want to break that up and make that sane is the question. And also, if we're going to have a character look, like, why do we even have a look anymore? I used Go for a bit, but I'm not sure I liked how errors were implemented. Why do you choose this language for a game engine? Because I like Go. That's the only reason. So I would need... we could still do this. It makes more sense, though, to make look the thing, and then like a get look or something event that we use on the target. We have a state event. We have event result. We could use the game event's targeted event, which I think we used to get here. Not that it really matters at this point, because we have... Well, I guess we can't use targeted event because that just has UUIDs. This has actual pointers. But we're going to need to solve targeted event for the state machine in general, for sure, because we're going to have things like attacks that need to be targeted, and those need to run through the state machine as well. Because if in the course of processing through the event queue for this iteration, this frame, this processing loop, whatever you want to call it, you have been killed before you fire off the attack, then that needs to correctly respond to you. So this needs a targeted event, something like that, and we put that into a state event. And that way we know lots of things about it that we just wire up to stuff. So when we do a look, you still need to pull the data out. Handles performing a look action on another character. So we need to do state event. It's a look. Why is this exported? These guys shouldn't be exported. Don't mess with the strings, just the code, please. Same deal here, ignore my strings, just fix that up. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't a silly decision, we'll find out. And then we can do targeted event. Origin is me. Target is target. And then we can pull this look, which is only used here and in the test. So that's fine. We can fix the test here in a second. We still do this. But then we don't need that. That'll clean that up a lot. And we can do that. Actually, I'm happier with that. That. Can do that. Ugh, there we go. And then we fire off the event that tells them about it, putting the string data in there. So what we need to do then in state, we need a get look data. Let's just say. We'll do that. And then here we do this, but we do oh, cool, Twitch fell over again. Thanks, Twitch. Appreciate you. So we do brain fart, getting crispy. We need to pull the event out. Or it's the target, yeah. So we can do this. Targeted events. If not okay, we'll do the same thing we did above. It's actually the same thing as the rest of this. But we expect targeted events like so. And then what we can do is say, we're using, yeah, that's used, I think. No, it's not. Okay, perfect. So. Because we need to build the look event, which is actually this right here. Get look data. We do that. Return it. So we need to then create get look data. Data is nil. And then this is where the skill check will come in if needed. For now, data can be nil. That's fine. And then we do target dot state handle event, which is why do I need to pass this in? Why isn't state aware? Why isn't the machine aware of who it's attached to? We'll circle back to that. For now, we give it the target and that. This is that there is no error returned here. Right, because error we do here? Yeah, okay. That's a result error. Next state, right. It's not error, it's next state. Okay, so we do that. If this is not nil, then we return that. Otherwise, result equals look data result. Turn that and nil. Okay. This also we need to say that it's handled. And we need to do the same thing over here in dead, more or less. But this becomes get look data. It is handled, we still do that. Perfect. But it doesn't handle look, so it just gets a generic, you can't do that. I think. I think. Maybe I didn't do that just yet. I guess it's up to whoever calls you. I have to think about that a little bit. Because how do we differentiate? You can't do that from some kind of a meaningful response. It would be in the response data. We'll leave it alone for now. We just want it to be working. So, theoretically, a couple things should happen. For one, everything should pass except for the thing I just broke, which is in test gosh, Care Manager test go 1759. This is dead. This is the one. Down here, character look, expected character events. Data should be we would need to run this through state or hard-coded. But if we run it through state, it won't be magic, which I am for. The other thing we could do, actually, think of it, is character look, target car is test target car. This doesn't return anything yet. Oh no, it won't return anything. Okay. So we would have to do this stuff. Which I guess is fine. That test car, that otherwise it's a fatal error where we say error getting look data for target car. But this is also expected. How do we feel about that? Something broke. Was it you? Target car. Nil. Okay, what happened there? Oh, duh. Not just but that Earth and over there. Okay. But you are new. What happened there? Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Why did I do that? Jeez. Why was I doing not equal nil here? Brain fart. Getting crispy. Been a long day. Okay. I type character look payload expected character look payload target data. Expected output is an event. Expected character event test target card data is results. And we wait the event. Valid data for result data type rather got wanted, and then this is the result, and this is just a string. Take a look at that. Okay, so we got a string back. It's just empty. And oh, did I forget to maybe? Well, no, you're not even dead. You're still alive over here. Get look data. Handle is true. Handle is true. Results is that. Return it. All right, I'm gonna look at this tomorrow. I'm getting tired, making silly mistakes again. Been a long day. So, thank you to everybody who came and hung out. If you like this kind of thing, then show up again tomorrow at about this time minus 2 hours and change, almost 2.5 now. And I should be here doing the same thing again. That is 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, if you're in the US and know what that means. If you're on Twitch, the schedule is posted in a friendly, localized place. What does MUD stand for? Multi-User Dungeon. Sorry that you showed up right at the end. But yeah, I'll be here, and I would love to see you again. And if not,